I've been that guy. While you was at home doing this, I was in the club making moves.
Jake Paul, if this is not going to be, curated into a little dance around exhibition, could find himself in a way of getting seriously hurt here, like Francis Ngannou did. Francis Ngannou was an MMA fighter that got blasted out by Anthony Joshua.
After seeing Jake Paul's viral training clips, Anthony Joshua finally responded, as fans closely analyzed Paul's slow-motion punches and power combinations. As a former unified heavyweight champion, Joshua isn't easily impressed, but his reaction shows that he is taking note of Paul's improvements. Paul appears sharper, faster, and more disciplined than ever in his training. And Joshua's comments both acknowledge this progress and emphasize that his own experience will likely make the difference when they eventually face each other in the ring.
And Anthony Joshua should not get in the way of Fury and Joshua, really, in my view. It's an absolute joke. It shouldn't be sanctioned. I really don't believe it should be sanctioned. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would be a very big fight. But the biggest thing is us rubbernecking to actually see if they do get to the point where they step in the ring together. Because Jake Paul's an area level fighter, a British area level fighter, and Anthony Joshua is still a killer and a live heavyweight. That should not be sanctioned anywhere in the world, in my view.
It's dangerous, mate.
Very dangerous.
It brings the sport into disrepute. The people that are talking about organising that, they should have a real hard look at themselves.
But even Eddie Hearn's kind of teasing he doesn't like it, but you can see the glitz of dollars.
There's no price. There is no price.
There shouldn't be.
There's absolutely no price
on the
planet in order to make that.
When Jake Paul was still new to boxing, Anthony Joshua acknowledged in a 2025 interview that Paul had a positive impact on the sport, helping to generate public interest even if doubts remained about his long-term potential. Today, their matchup has become a real high-stakes fight. Paul, with a 12-1 record and 7 knockouts, is facing the biggest challenge of his career, while former unified heavyweight champion Joshua, holding a 28-4 record, turns this bout into one of the most highly anticipated fights in recent boxing history.
Trying to fight Anthony Joshua now. How do you think that's going to go?
Man, Anthony Joshua, I don't know why I think Anthony Joshua would knock him out. No disrespect to Jake Paul, I think Anthony Joshua would knock him out. I'm saying like within like 2-3 rounds.
Yeah.
You saw what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou?
Yeah.
Come on. I've never seen Francis get knocked out.
Yeah, that's huge too.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
huge.
both huge.
Yeah, he's huge. But you got to hear the story. You got to get Francis Ngannou in here and hear this story though.
I'd love to.
Bro, he was set up though, for real. I believe
on that fight?
Yeah, I believe him. Because here's what they do, like what sometimes what people don't understand. Like in boxing too, I don't know a whole lot about boxing. You know, when you fight for promotion, they promote that fighter. So he's fighting in Saudi Arabia. So they was probably fighting at 3 a.m. and they had him in the locker room. It's like
during their first public face-off on November 21st, Anthony Joshua made it clear that the event's scale, professionalism, and star power made it a major and important fight, and that his full focus was entirely on the matchup with no distractions. At the December 19th press conference, Jake Paul discussed his expected weight, explaining that he had recently been cutting weight for a different fight, making the jump to heavyweight more challenging. He estimated that his weight on fight day would be between 215 and 225 pounds.
Nothing negative. He's here to do his job. I could sit up here, as I said, and try and address all the things that Jake doesn't do good. But I'm fighting Jake that's going to do everything good on December 19th. So let me focus on that. He's a good person, does his thing, great team around him, puts in the work, and that's why he's sitting here now. Anyone out there in the world that works harder than the next person deserves to be a front runner, and he's a front runner in the boxing game right now.
Respect. Jake, can I ask, it feels to me from afar, you're in a bit of a lose-lose here, because it seems like a lot of people want to see you get obliterated, right? A lot of people want to see you get your comeuppance. And if you do pull off the upset, or if this fight goes the distance, again, the whispers will start to come. People will discredit you. People will say, this, that, and the other about the fight. How do you balance that, and how do you deal with that?
Man, I've already won at every single thing in life. I'm playing on house money. I've accomplished all my dreams, said everything I was going to do, from becoming, the first influencer to become an actor on Disney, to becoming the biggest YouTuber in the world, to rising to the top of boxing. And having the largest viewed fight in the history of the sport. I've accomplished everything. So this is a win-win and another challenge for myself. I've never been knocked down or knocked out even in sparring, but I'm in a sport where that happens. And I know this is dangerous, but this is no different than a soccer player, losing in the World Cup on the biggest stage. If that's how it goes, if I take one of those punches that Francis Ngannou took and I'm on the canvas, let's see how tough I am. Let's see if I can get back up. But I'm ready for that. I'm prepared for that mentally, and I know that he has to deal with me as well. This is not as one-sided fight as people think, and I have power. I have the ability to put people to sleep, and so that's why I took this challenge. And I know it's crazy and all of that, but I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited. My team's excited, and everyone believes in me, and that's all that matters.
How much do you expect to weigh on fight night?
Man, I was cutting down for Gervonta, so it's been a little tough getting back up in some strength for this, but anywhere 215 to 225, we'll see.
Okay, and I want to clear something up with you, AJ. I saw on the press release that it said that on weigh-in day, you can't weigh above 245, but post weigh-ins, you can weigh whatever you want. There's no rehydration clause or anything like that. Is that accurate?
Whatever it says, yeah, I think that's the case, but my focus, 111 kilograms, is what I got to weigh in at, right? I do kilograms, not pounds.
I don't know. You stumped me on that one. What is 111? Should I look it up?
Jake Paul sees this fight as an opportunity to silence his critics by taking on an established heavyweight and former world champion like Anthony Joshua, aiming to prove that he can compete with top-level fighters. Paul believes that a victory over Joshua would remove all doubts about his abilities. The matchup will be a fully sanctioned professional heavyweight bout under Marquis of Queensberry rules, consisting of 8 3-minute rounds, with both fighters wearing 10-ounce gloves. Joshua has a strict weight limit of 245 pounds to ensure fairness, and the outcome, win or loss, will be officially recorded on each fighter's professional record, making this a fully legitimate and serious contest.
Fight a real boxer. They said, fight someone your size. They said, fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of supposed fighters for me to fight. The world. Make no mistake, this is the biggest fight of my career. I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm doing something that no one else has ever done before. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua Friday, December 19th, live on Netflix. My voice cracked, I'm still going through puberty. The biggest fight of 2025, USA versus UK. He's got the belts, the size, the history, but I have the balls. Be careful what you wish for. Jake versus Joshua, Judgment Day. He has a 90% knockout ratio, but I have a 100% chance.
Eddie Atlas offered a cautious but intrigued perspective on the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup. He noted that the fight could be challenging for Paul due to the significant gap in experience and skill, yet he did not completely dismiss the possibility. Atlas highlighted Joshua's recent knockout loss and long layoff, suggesting there may be some vulnerabilities, although overall Joshua remains the stronger and more technically skilled fighter. His main focus is on seeing which version of Joshua will step into the ring on fight day.
Said all of that. This might be a step too far. Now, when I say it, I'm also, I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg or fall down. When I say that with the understanding, too, that Joshua's coming off being knocked out. Joshua hasn't fought for a year, right? But it's about a year. And there's some ghost in his attic. There are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's gotten rid of some of them, but I know that in the position of a fighter coming where he's coming from, there are ghosts in your attic. I don't know if those ghosts are still taking up space. I don't know if maybe there could be no better exorcism for those ghosts than fighting a Jake Paul. That might be just the exorcism you need to clear out the attic. I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. That's the mystery part of this. That's what makes it so, it makes it two things at once. Intriguing and
Ryan Garcia emphasized the high stakes of this fight for Jake Paul, noting that a loss to Anthony Joshua could have serious consequences for both his career and reputation, given Joshua's power and technical skill. Garcia suggested that this experience could be a turning point for Paul, highlighting the importance of proper training, preparation, and ring awareness to handle the challenges Joshua presents. He also pointed out Joshua's recent activity, noting that he has fought only twice in the past 2 years, including a split decision loss to Alexander Usyk in 2022, which makes Joshua's approach in this fight somewhat unpredictable.